Dark and lonesome is the hour before the dawn of day, and dark beyond conception is the cold and silent clay. A widow's grief is darker still, whose sorrow few can tell. A grief which is as heart-rending, on which we will not dwell. But darkest of all is the cloud of grief o'er Wexford hangs today. For her brave, heroic lifeboat men, whose lives were cast away on the 20th day of February, I mean to let you know. A storm horrific and severe o'er the Wexford coast did blow. A Norwegian bark, the Mexico, got in the perilous state by being driven on the Kilmuckridge rocks to meet with a dreadful fate. The crew all in a frightened state together they did group, waiting for the captain's orders, assemble on the poop. The signal of distress was hoist, and from her mast they flew. Then pluckily to the rescue came the feathered lifeboat crew. The lightning flashed and the thunder rolled, the seas like mountains ran, and onwards through that tempestuous storm the lifeboat proudly came. The signal which was flashed that night was the white or the green in view. A signal that a sailor reads, we will not abandon you. When they reached the ill-fated Mexico, oh horror, what a shock! Their boat was dashed to pieces on the dreaded Kilmuckridge rocks. Oh Lord, what a sensation to behold those heroes brave, contending with the raging seas, their precious lives to save. The crew of the gallant Mexico, though terror-stricken too, they rendered all assistance to the drowning lifeboat crew. 5 of those gallant heroes were all that could be found. The other 9 by the Kilmuckridge rocks, I'm sorry to say, were drowned. May the Lord have mercy on their souls and all of their noble kind, and heaven guard the restless ones, those heroes left behind. Very Why you have to sing after that now? Anyway. Oh, yes. I stay trouble. Oh, it's just where the light is shining now. Okay. What the hell now? First one, third. All right then. No. Now it happened out in Drinagh, not far from Wexford town. That comfort he was worried that his trade was going down. Then the mummers came to practice, and soon there came the call. Why don't we get together, boys, and organise a ball? The first thing to do was get the printed tickets out.
spread 'em round the area and get the fivers in. Then practice like hell the figures and the steps throughout, and do a deal with Ned for grub on that great evening. With Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. The bar receipts were running up in the moisture down the wall. I sure hadn't we the gaiety at the trying the mummers ball. First of all, Pat Fortune got out for to explain how each mummer there would represent a famous name. Characters from history like Theobald Wolfe, Father Murphy and John Kelly, who were two of Wexford's own. Then the boys marched on with the greatest of conviviality. Their striking and figuring was timely, crisp and clear. Long Joe and Little Ted, the essence of frivolity, while Tom and Willie Rossiter were getting into gear. There was Mrs. Dower and Mrs. Power and Mrs. Murray too. Bob and Kitty Connolly appeared as if on cue. Joe White, Mrs. Carberry and Tom Fitzpatrick Tall were cutting capers on the floor at the Shrine of Mummers Ball. Josie and Tom Kehoe figured with the best of them, with fancy steps the Scallons had never seen before. Half-sets, waltzes and sambas came alike to them, and every time the music stopped they shouted out for more. With Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. The bar seats were running up in the moisture down the wall. I sure hadn't we the gaiety at the Drinagh Mummers Ball. Then the Brothers Hall from Owenstown got up to, think of it now. And the Brothers Hall from Owenstown got up to show us how 'twas poetry in motion. I'm going to tell you now. They pranced the Mason's apron to the sound of great applause, till a lady from the audience got up to help their cause. Frank Murray played to the best of his ability. Doyles and Summerses got up to do their share. Nick and Nancy Fanning showed no signs of debility, and Byrne made two speeches that were eloquent and rare. With Nick Kinsella on the fiddle, Pat and Tommy Hayes, Dermot Kelly on guitar, home from Antipodes. I hope the mummers keep their health, and likewise both the halls. Sure, if we hadn't got the mummers, sure we couldn't have the balls. That's a Jim.
When two lovers meet down beside a green bower, when two lovers meet down beside a green tree, where Mary fond Mary declared unto her lover, you have stole my heart away long by the banks of the Lee. Oh, for I did love for dearly, both truly and sincerely. There was no other flower on this earth I adore. Every tree, leaf and bower, every tree, leaf and flower, that reminds me of my Mary by the banks of the Lee. Oh, don't stay out too late on the moorlands, my Mary. Oh, don't stay out too late on the moorlands from me. Oh, for little was our notion as we parted o'er the ocean, that we were forever parting by the banks of the Lee. Oh, for I did love for dearly, both truly and sincerely. There was no other one on this earth I adore. Every tree, leaf and flower, every rosebud and bower, that reminds me of my Mary by the banks of the Lee. I will pick me out some roses, some wild Irish roses. I will pick me out some roses, the fairest ever grew, and I'll place them on the grave of my fond and loving Mary, in that cold and silent churchyard where she sleeps neath the dew. Oh, for I did love her dearly, both truly and sincerely. There was no other one on this earth I adore. Every tree, leaf and flower, every rosebud and bower, that reminds me of my Mary by the banks of the Lee.
John Roche next. Next for adoption, please.
You can't be shouting who's next. That's your job.
Donnelly. He got it fairly right anyway, I suppose, didn't he?
Donnelly's next.
On the circle.
Tony's next then.
Good idea, Tony.
I don't sing any traditional songs.
Go on.
Sing songs.
We'll stop you if you don't like it.
Go ahead, Ross.
Not in the traditional.
Sure, sing something at all. It's not easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice week. How's he again? Go ahead, Ross. It's like an influence over there. I think it's the worst one.
One Eva's day was dying and sinking into night, with the British ensign flying, the Sybil came in sight. Our English captain hailed us as down on us she bore, and proudly answered Barry, our brave old Commodore. This is the ship Alliance from Philadelphia town. She boldly bids defiance to England's king and crown. As captain of our deck I stand, to guard her banner true. Half Yankee and half Irishman, what a tyrant slave are you. Then with a voice of thunder, our guns began to fight. Though battling against numbers, with the foeman's fleet in sight, for the Hudson and the Shannon against the minions of the crown, we fought until our cannons brought the British ensign down. Says the Commodore, we will take her from before their very eyes. With another broadside rake her, and we'll carry off the prize. And our round shot went careering through her minions and her spars, and our crew began a cheering for the Yankee stripes and stars. And waving on the breeze aloft, it waved in all its pride. above the foeman's captured craft, now sailing by our side. Oh, how the gallant seamen cheered, just as the sun went down, as our good vessel homeward sped for Philadelphia town.
Bam at last.
I got it, huh?
No talking, no sing.
Oh, it's turned on, is it?
Yeah.
Is the yoke on? One morning in last harvest, I was standing by the gate, just like I now and thinking when I'd have to change me stead. When what comes putting past the road with many a jolt and jar, but a little piebald pony and an inside car. One look I gave the pony and one look I gave the wheels, then glancing up me heart began to dancing jigs and reels. For there before my own two eyes 3 little girls from Scar were out driving round the country in their inside car. Now the eldest girl was steering and right pleasant was her face. Beside her sat her sister and she smoothing down the lace. Ah, but hid behind a Cailín oak just like the morning star, peeped o'er the yellow sideboards of their inside car. My dear, they hardly reached me when the pony started to kick, and of course I had to stop the thief from playing them a trick. Now they all felt very grateful, but the sweetest smile by far came from that little Cailín in that inside car. Bad shoes to that same pony, I was asking for a rose, when he backed the car all full of girls out straight across me toes. Ah, but who could think of pain or ache and look at Molly Marr, and she talking so consoling from her inside car. Now I'd crack a crooked sixpence for the driver's pretty face, or I'd split a golden guinea for her sister with the lace. I'd rob the bank in Wexford or the silver mines in Scar, just to drive the Rose of Wexford in that inside car.
This one isn't traditional either, but it might suit the night that's in it. It's called The Box. Like all stories about the days the year begins. Once upon a time, in the land of Hushabye, around about the days of yore, they came upon a sort of box, bound with chains and locked with locks and labelled, "Kindly do not touch, it's war." A decree was issued all about, all with a flourish and a shout, and a gaily coloured mascot went rushing on before. "Please don't touch this deadly box, or break the chains, or pick the locks, and please don't ever play about with war." Now the children understood, for children happened to be good, and they were just as good around the days of yore. And they didn't break the chains and pick the locks, and they didn't ever play about with war. Mummies didn't either. Sisters, aunts, nor grannies either. For they were good and kind and pretty around the days of yore. Very much the same as now. Not the ones to blame somehow for opening up the deadly box of war. But someone did. Someone battered in the lid and spilled the insides all out across the floor. A sort of bouncy, bumpy ball full of guns and flags, and all the tears and death and sorrow that goes with war came bouncing out and hopping all about and bumping everything in store. And what was sad and most unfair was that it didn't seem to care much who it bumped, or why, or what, or for. the children mainly, and I'll tell you this quite plainly, it bumps them every day and more, and leaves them dead and dying, thousands of them sick and crying, for when it bumps, it's really very sore. Now there's a way to stop this ball. It isn't difficult at all. All it takes is wisdom. And I'm absolutely sure they could get it back into the box and bind the chains and lock the locks. But no one seems to care for children anymore. At least that's the way it all appears. For it's been bouncing round for years and years, in spite of all the wisdom. And the day they came upon the box, bound with chains, and locked with locks, and labelled, kindly do not touch. It's war.
Well, and this is a biblical sound.
That's all he did when there was war.
I guess he's trying to not let it course.
All our war for birds and all our songs are sad.
That's very good.
Traveller from Glanlee. I went to see the world stage when scarcely 16 years of age. A steerage passage I engaged aboard the Iron Duke. I went aboard the Dublin Wall, being outward bound for Transvaal. I had a friend from Enniscorthy and one from Donnelly. Our noble ship had scarcely steamed when into mine sad memories streamed. I thought of my dear neighbours and their loving company. I thought of my dear brother and our love for one another, and of our grey-haired mother in that beauty spot, Glanlee. A Dutchman who in health declined had heard of cures in Palestine, invited me for to combine and along with him to go. We went ashore in Jaffa and we journeyed to Jerusalem and the ancient city of Hebron and fine mountains, highest peaks, they were like the McGillicuddy's reeks, and from the summit you could see the Lake of Galilee, likewise the River Jordan and the province of Samaria, and though it sounds contrary, the fairest was Paddy. But Providence that will its way, I went on board and sailed away. I went on board and sailed away, for my friend abandoned me. I landed in San Francisco when the trees were blooming beautiful, and on that very evening there was a great earthquake. I was in bed and sleeping sound. I woke to find things tumbling round, and after that I heard no sound and no pain affected me. But on the following morning, when I recovered consciousness, I wrote of all the consequence to my friends in fair Glanlee. I told them in the letter how I lost a situation that was my worldly station and intended to go home. I told them
keep her going, Paddy.
I got the cash without it.
Yeah.
No, leave it be, leave it be.
Don't leave it.
No. Finish it. Too much of a story. Just one.
I told them in the letter how I'd lost the situation that was my worldly station. I intended to go home. I hoped their generosity would help my situation. And I went on relating how misfortune made me roam. I got the cash to pay my way without disaster or delay. I landed soon in Queenstown Quay on board the Chimpanzee, and after an excursion of some 5 long hours duration, we reached the little station on the road to Glanlee. That's some travelling. And now I live contentedly among those grand old neighbours, endowed with all the capers of good nature and delight. I found amid the multitude a charming little creature. She proved her admiration, she's my charming Irish wife. And when we go at Sunday noon to that beauty spot called Topacombe, when song and story would illume the hearts of you and me, it is there amid the multitude of grand old friends and neighbours. We never tire of praising that beauty spot, Glanlee.
One fine summer's morning, both gallant and gay, 24 ladies went out on the quay, and a regiment of soldiers that did them pass by. A drummer and one of them soon caught his eye. He went to his comrade and to him did say, 24 ladies I saw yesterday, on one of them ladies she has me heart won, and if she denies me I'm surely undone. Go to this lady and tell her your mind. Tell her she's wounded your poor heart inside. Go and tell her she's wounded your poor heart full sore. And if she denies you, what can she do more? So early next morning this young man arose, dressed himself up in a fine suit of clothes, with a watch in his pocket and a cane in his hand. Saluting the ladies, he walked down the strand. He walked up to her and he said, pardon me, lady, for making so free. Oh, me fine honoured lady, you have me heart won, and if you deny me, I'm surely undone. Be off, little drummer, now, what do you mean? Sure, I'm the Lord's daughter of Ballycastine. Oh, I'm the Lord's daughter, dishonoured, you see. Be off, little drummer, you're making too free. So he put on his hat and he bade her farewell, saying, I'll send me soul down to heaven or hell, for with this long pistol that hangs by me side, I'll put an end to me own dreary life. Come back, little drummer, now, don't take it ill, for I do not want to be guilty of sin, to be guilty of innocent blood for to spill. Come back, little drummer, I'm here at your will. Now we'll hire a car and to Banshee we'll go, and there we'll be married in spite of our foes. For what can they say when it's over and done? But I fell in love with the roll of your drum.
That's funny, lovely. After escaping again.
As I was going for a walk, round Enniscorthy, a pretty little country girl I chanced for to me. With a basket on her arm, as she did pass me by, and I asked her what she there now, says she, mind your eye. Oh, she asked me to mind the basket while she's going down the street. I'm going down to Cleary's to get myself a treat. I won't be a minute, I'll be back by and by. But for God's sake, says she, now do mind your eye. Now to open up this basket, sure it was my intent. Sure I peeped around and bulgers to see where she went. When I opened up the basket, sure the baby began to cry, and into me arms jumped the young mind your eye. Now to get this baby christened, sure it was my intent. Off to a clergyman I instantly went. Be hook or be crook, sure we'll christen it by and by, but what will we call it? Sure, says I, mind your eye. Now mind your eye, said the clergyman, that's a funny name. What be that, says I, it's a funnier way it came. With a basket on her arm, as she did pass me by, when I asked her what she there, sure, says she, mind your eye. Oh, come all ye pretty bachelors, wherever that you be, never go a-courting down in Enniscorthy. For if you do, you'll surely rue, and you'll find it out by and by, and you'll soon become a daddy of a young mind your eye.
Last night, as I stood on the banks of the Boyne, as some soldiers were going away, a brave soldier lad with his face pale and sad turned to his sweetheart and said, oh, tonight is our last night together, for the nearest and dearest must hide. For a soldier may roam to the end of the world, with his thoughts on his loving sweetheart. Let us roam through the meadows together, where we first fell in love, you and I, when you taught me to love, you did mine. Now teach me to bid you goodbye, or perhaps I may fall in the battle. Oh, what more can a brave soldier do? And my last dying word will be mine, my mother, my country, and you. Sing it. Come on.
I am a bold and undaunted fox that never was before on tramp. My rent, rates and taxes I was willing for to pay. I lived as happy as King Saul and loved me neighbours great and small. I had no animosity for either friend nor foe. And I made my den in prime good lands between Tipperary and Knocklong, where my forefathers lived for 300 years or more. But now of late I was betrayed by one who was a fool and knave. He told me I should quit the place and show me face no more. But as soon as he ejected me, I thought 'twas time that I should flee. I stole away his ducks and geese and murdered all his drakes, and I knew I could no longer stand because he hadn't the hounds at hand. So I tightened up my garters and then I was away. But soon there was a great lookout by land and sea to find me out. From Belfast town to Dublin quay and along the raging sea, by telegraph they did insert this great reward for my arrest. My figure, size and form, and my name without a doubt. They searched the rocks, the gulfs, the bays, the ships and liners at the quays, the ferry boats and steamers as they were going to sea. All around the coast they took a steer from Poolbeg Lighthouse to Cape Clear, Killarney town and Sleatralee, and then crossed into Clare. But when they'd landed on the shore, they searched Kilrush from head to toe. The bathing bats at Milltown, called otherwise Mall Bay, and Galway being a place of fame, they thought was there I would remain. But still their journey was in vain, for I gave them leg bail. They searched the train in Ormore as she was leaving for Athlone, and every wagon, coach and car that went along the road, and Connemara being remote, they thought was there I would resort. And then when they got weary, they resolved to try Mayo. In Swinford town, where I lay down, I heard a dreadful cry of hounds. I took another notion to retaliate the chase, but I being weary from the road, I took a glass at 4:30. Then I was renovated while the hounds were getting weak. The night got dark in Castlebar, I knew not how to find me way. I'd neither den nor manger for to shield me from the cold. But when the moon began to shine, I said I'd make for a foreign clime. Now I'm in the land of liberty, and 3 cheers for Michael is.
And Paddy,
Is the night of Arayoling in the Matharium Beline Marathon Yark Meano Egban Shiga Jojo Bishmakri Small Main the Posa Niwa. Esa storino via Boulevard Toshino Brishawi Nakaya Reni Rosarta Fergus Antil Madame Sawil and all we go free young. Is it Shaheen the very so Mahani Balunapin Shan through gun me August clover than the yoling hen Regune Koturish Cailín jas Maris Desha pos na Venesin na will blosatil Febrini aderma wadidam Is name
Children's country, a stranger I came. I placed my affections on a maid that was young. She been young and tender, her waist small and slender. Kind nature had formed her for my overthrow. On the banks of the Bann, where I first beheld her, she appeared like fair Juno, or a Grecian queen. Her eyes shone like diamonds, her hair softly twining, and her skin like the roses, her blood drops in snow. Oh, my name it is Delaney, a name that won't shame me, and if I had saved money, I'd have plenty in store. But drinking and courting, night rambling and sporting, are the cause of my ruin and absence from home. It was her cruel parents that first caused our variance, all because I was poor, and all they low degree. But I'll do my endeavour to win my love's favour, for there's no other love on this earth I adore. Oh, had I the money that's in the West Indies, or had I the gold of the African shore, I'd spend it on pearls and on you, my brown girl, for there's no other love on this earth I adore. Oh, but now that I have gained her, but now I am contented and happy in life. Sorry, I lost it. I'm gonna have to talk. Well done.
Come on, Mary.
I'll do the ballad in the Tinker's Shop.
I was just asking how much Pete is this one is Kilmore because this is brilliant one. Well,
Carry on, sing you something. When rooks ripped home at eventide, and trees pegged their shadows to the ground, the Tinkers came to Cailín Bridge and camped beside the famine mound. With long-eared ass and bony horse, with blue-wheeled cart and caravan, and she, the fairest of them all, the daughter of the Tinker clan. The sun flamed in her red, red hair, and in her eyes danced stars of mirth. Her body held the willow's grace, her feet scarce touched the springing earth. The night spread its star-tasseled shawls, the river gossiped to its stones. She sat beside the leaping fire and sang the songs the Tinker owns. Songs as old as turning wheel, and sweet as bird throat after rain. Deep wisdom of the wild wet earth, the pain of joy, the joy of pain. A farmer going on the road to tend his cattle in the byre saw her like some fairy queen between the river and the fire. Her beauty stirred his brooding blood, her magic mounted in his head. He stole her from the Tinker clan, and on the morrow they were wed. And when sunlight swamped the hills and bird throat drowned the river bells, the Tinkers quenched their hazel fires and climbed the windy road to Kells. From his house she watched them go, with blue-wheeled cart and caravan, with long-eared ass and bony horse, with something and Tinkerman. She watched them go, she watched them fade, and vanish in the yellow forbs. A cold wind blew across the sun, and silenced all her singing birds. She watched the months run on, and heard the river fresh and foam. At bright of day the rooster called, at dim of dusk the cows came home. The crickets strummed their heated harps in hidden halls behind the hob, and told of distant waterways where black moor hens dive and bob, and shoot their glassy bubbles up to dash their windows on the stones, and brown trout hid their spots of gold amid the river's pebbly stones. And too, the ebbing sea that spread a net of sound around the stars, set strange hills dancing in her dreams, and meshed her to the wandering cars. She stole out from her sleeping man, and fled the fields that tied her down. Her face was towards the rising sun, her back was to the tired town. She climbed the windy road to Kells. Against the hills, against the wind, a glen bay of the mountain streams, she came upon her Tinker kind. They bedded her between the weeds, and there her son was born. She heard the Tinker women's praise before she died that morn. The years flew by. Like frightened birds that spill a feather and are gone, the farmer walked his weed-full fields and made the Tinkers hurry on. No more they camped at Cairn Hill, nor coaxed from fires their fragrant flame. They saw him with his dog and gun. They spat and cursed his name. And when May hid the hawthorn trees with stars she stole from out the skies, there came a strapping Tinker lad with red, red hair and laughing eyes. He left the road. He crossed the field. The farmer shot him in the side. The smile went from his twisting lips. He told his name and died. That evening, when the neighbours came, they found the son laid on the floor and saw the farmer swinging dead between the window and the door. They laid the boy upon the cart and cut the swaying farmer down. They swear a tinker woman came with them all the way to town. The sun flamed in her red, red hair, and in her eyes danced stars of mirth. Her body held the willow's grace. Her feet scarce touched the springing earth. They buried them in Kilmuckridge, and eyes were wet and lips were wan. And when the mound was patted down, the tinker maid was gone. Now these things were before my day. I only speak in borrowed words. But that's the way the story goes in either hour of the singing birds.
He will tell why I am sitting here in fond admiration. The years slip away like a bold autumn breeze, and then I am back in that dear little cottage that's nestling there by the old chestnut tree. Again I am calling on 21 summers, when my love and devotion to you did belong. Oh, darling, my dearest, we were meant for each other. When first I heard you sing that old Irish song, so sing it, my darling, to brighten the memory of that little thatched cottage where first life began. Oh, the tears wet my cheeks as I fondly listen to you, Croppy, sing that old Irish song. And then in a vision so bright and enchanting, I am back in that spot where my boyhood was spent. And then I am back in the place where first I met you, where we were together and life was content. But sorrow came soon after, for then we were parted from those friends and relations whom we still love, until we meet again in the happier kingdom. I will cherish the thoughts of your old Irish song. So sing it, my darling, to brighten the memory of that little thatched cottage where first life began. Oh, the tears wet my cheeks as I fondly listen to you, Croppy, sing that old Irish song.
away you go. Help me happy.
Twas early, early, all in the spring. The birds did whistle and did sweetly sing, changing their notes from tree to tree. And the song they sang was Old Ireland Free. 'Twas early, early, all in the night, the yeoman cavalry gave me a fright. To my misfortune and sad downfall, I was taken prisoner by Lord Cornwall. As I was walking up Wexford Hill, who could blame me to cry my fill? I looked behind and I looked before, but my tender cousin I could see no more. As I was walking up Wexford Street, my own first cousin I did chance to meet. My own first cousin did me betray, and for 1 gold guinea sold my life away. I chose the black, I chose the blue, I forsook the red and the orange too. I did forsake them and them deny. I chose the green and for it I'll die. As I was mounted on the gallows high, my aged father was standing by. My aged father did me deny, and the name he gave me was the Croppy boy.
You don't mind? I take your advice to him.
Is it one that you don't have to call an order for you? Just
No, they can come if you want. You guys train around.
I don't know what the rest of it is. Millions of songs there, don't
I am a youth that's inclined to ramble to some foreign country. I mean to steer, and bid farewell to my friends and comrades and all the old Petehearts that I love dear. But there's one of those that I do most admire. On her I think when I'm far away, but since fate's decreed, I'm resolved to part her and try my fortune in America. So farewell, darling, since I must leave you. I place great dependence on your constancy, that no other young man could earn your favour, nor change your mind when I am o'er the sea. Although the seas they may separate us, and in between us they may rise and fall, but if fortune favours me, you'll find your Jamie returning homewards from America. Oh, Jamie dear, do you remember when I sat with you for many's the hour? When my young fancy away was carried, the bees hummed round us on each opening flower. But when you're crossing o'er the western ocean, the girl that loves you, you'll ne'er mind the va, and you'll scarce e'er think upon the maids of Erin. You'll get strange sweethearts in America. Oh, Mary dear, I don't dissemble. To all other fair maids I'll prove untrue. And if you think that these are false promises, I leave these vows as my pledge to you, that what I have may prove unsuccessful, and fortune prove to be a clithery bar, that a favouring gale it may ne'er blow on me, should I forget you in America. So now to conclude and end these verses, may God protect my young female fair, and keep her from every wild embarrassment, and of you, my darling, take the greatest care. She's slow to anger and of kind disposition, her cheeks like roses in June do blow. In my nightly slumber, whene'er I think on her, I could court her vision in America.
That's it. Jog, and every hair that he saw there was kicked up by my dog. I hope you're not offended by these verses I've sung here. I long to see the committee and stewards do well next year. Bring it through love to Kilmallock pies, and if my greyhound wins, we'll dance all night till the broad daylight in Costello's of Salt Mills. Bad luck to gambling, I'm in an awful fix. Out of £4.6 and 8 all I have is 1 and 6. We'll go down to Shays or Kenny's and we'll drink a glass of grog, and go home around Dunbrody singing Murphy's Running Down. Here in the Roche.
Smooth na go Fearúil glúis am hen Ballad tra the hús os glen is beauty in the soon poetic oh we come in Chuck no rain Mark Egg bush like Hera Some noid no Serak Dungeon came the
Now, whichever of the three you want to sing, now you got to sing.
Falcon, Walpan, Balcree, 14 ships and sail for sea, proudly bearing a man's name, but there's one will never sail again. Oh, well and van of the Isle of Man Company. Oh, well and van lost in the Irish Sea, with a crew of 21 man's men. Our passengers, Liverpool businessmen. Her hold was full and buttoned down as she sailed forth from Liverpool town. Oh, Ellen Bannon of the Isle of Man Company. Oh, Ellen Bannon lost in the Irish Sea. To line our shelter there that morn, Ellen Bannon on our wave was born. Farewell, ye mourners, aye, farewell, for this little ship was bound for hell. Oh, Ellen Bannon of the Isle of Man Company. Oh, Ellen Bannon lost in the Irish Sea. At 1 a.m. in Ramsey Bay, Captain Tier was heard to say, our contract says deliver the mail. In this foul weather, boys, we must not fail. Oh, Ellen Bannon of the Isle of Man Company. Oh, Ellen Bannon lost in the Irish Sea. 'Twas but a mile from the Ballad ship, Ellen Bannon by a wave was hit. She sank in the waters of Liverpool Bay, and there she lies until this day. Oh, Ellen Bannon of the Isle of Man Company. Oh, fan now can remember the 3rd day of the month December. A terrible storm in '99, Helen Vannon sailed for the very last time. Oh, Helen Vannon of the Isleman Company. Oh, Helen Vannon, lost in the Irish Sea.
Lovely day.
My name is Mick Green. I'm from Cailín and I'm weary of this life. I'm sick in the head and I live in dread since I took myself away. 'Twas that dirty old man called Below-the-Nose Dan who caused me all that pain. I met him last week, the hairy old creep, at the horse fair in Shelmalier. He was having a drink, the nasty old gig. in the Slasher Moran's bar. He had two red eyes like great mince pies, and hair like molten tar. The nasty old thing kept rubbing his chin as he looked me up and down. "Being done?" says he as he looked at me. "You're a stranger in this town. I can see you're a decent sort of a man. And a bachelor or two I loan. I can tell by the tear in the arse of your pants that you live all alone. Your coat and shirt is straight with trouble. Your shoes all caked with clay. You're a lucky man that blood and nose land is here in this pub today." Now I looked at him in a kind of a trance as I drank my whiskey straight. His two red eyes seemed to hypnotise, like a mongoose picking a snake. He drank his glass like a hungry ass, and then he threw me a horrible smile. He blew his nose as he came up close, and he says, "Listen here, boys. I have a daughter called Marian. She's as pretty as new mown hay. She's straight in the leg and dark in the head and bright as a newborn day. She's willing and neat and she's mighty sweet and she's a darling to me life. But if you gives me £100 right now, you can make her your loving wife." Now, I have always been a cautious kind of a man, and I've saved for the rainy day. But it's a lonesome old life without a good wife and no one to make the tea. Now, Marian Kate so trim and neat would fill the bill no doubt. Like a hungry weed, he quivered with greed as I counted the money out. "I'm being at the church next Sunday. Be on time," says he. "I'll have the lovely Marian Kate there waiting patiently. Her legs will be clean. She'll wear her vanishing cream. She'll snooze her body down. You'll be the envy of every man from Lishstone to Tralee." The altar shone in the morning sun as I stepped up to the rail. There I spied my vision of pure delight, all shrouded in a veil. "Will you take, darling girl, and treasure her all your life? That hair's respect to the bridal bed," he said, "for the lovely." Now, I sat myself in the parlour chair while she went up to the room. Like a little boy who was feeling shy as I thought of the honeymoon. Like a heifer in pain, she called my name and the blood rushed to my head. Oh, passionate sin, you should see the thing that was sprawling in my bed. Her eyes they shone like burning coals as she raised a hairy paw. One lonesome tooth like a gooseberry root hung beneath her hairy jaw. She drew me close and her long red nose with passion began to pour. I gave a yell and ran like hell out of that bedroom door. Now, silence for the prayer. May that hairy creature shiver and shout till the hairy creature shiver and shake till the devil hears him shout. May the seagulls and crows peck at his nose and pull his eardrums out. May he choke with thirst, may his eyeballs burst, may his belly rack with pain. For dirty sake he played on poor me get the horse here again.
Rose of Shelmalier and Shamrock, farewell to the girls in all Ireland all round. May your heart be as merry as ever you could wish it for, when far, far away from old Ireland you'll be bound. My father is old and my mother's quite feeble. To leave their own country would grieve their hearts sore, and the tears down their cheeks in red showers would pour. To think they would die on a far foreign shore. But what matter to me where my bones they lie buried, if in peace and contentment I can spend my life. The green fields of America, they daily are calling. 'Tis soon I'll see an end to my misery and strife. So pack up your sea stores, consider no longer. $10 a week is not very bad pay, with no taxes or tithes to devour up your wages, when you're on the green fields of America. Now the lint dams are gone and the looms they lie idle. Gone are the weavers of baskets and creels. Away o'er the ocean go journeyman ploughboys and fiddlers who flag out the old mountain reel. But I mind the time when old Ireland was flourishing, when most of her tradesmen did work for good pay. But since her manufactories have crossed o'er the Atlantic, 'tis soon I must follow on to America. So now to conclude and to finish up my ditty, if ever an Irishman I meet upon my way, with the best in the house I will greet him and welcome, at home on the green fields of America. So pack up your sea stores, consider no longer. $10 a week is not very bad pay, with no taxes or tines to devour up your wages when you're on the green fields of America.
I'm Paddy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The red sun goes down over Ballad waters. The salties are misty and grey. At home on the mainland, our wives and our daughters are bidding us luck on the day. With a southwest wind blowing, our nets filled o'erflowing from a shoal that broke under our lee. Then raise high a chorus, Kilmore lies before us, with our boats full of spoil from the sea. The wind from the northlands is cruel and it's blighting. The young lambs we scarcely can save, while the wind from the east land is callous and biting, and it adds a full foot to the wave. Then ho for the west wind, for sure 'tis the best wind to save our poor fishers from dree. As we raise high a chorus, Kilmore lies before us, with our boat full of spoil from the sea. Then veer round the sail, and Moor safe will guide us one tack, and we're into the pier. See Ellen with Margaret and Mary beside them. May I ere thus come home to my dears. O sweet Queen of Heaven, let me praise be given to the babe who once sat on thy knee. As we raise high a chorus, his blessing hung o'er us, in our boat full of spoil from the sea.
The night fell dark, the night fell dark over Limerick, and all the land was still. As for the foe in ambush, we lay beside the hill. Long and patiently we waited to dash upon our prey, with noble Sarsfield at our hand at the dawn.